As soon as you have multiple priorities, none of them is a priority. So over the course of a year, a couple months, make health a priority for a season. It could be for a month, it could be for 3 months, but that's your priority. You're going to take that time to start building healthy habits, to pay attention to what you're putting in your body, to do a little learning around your health. You're still going to be running your business, but you're going to make it a priority to bring health into that just for a season. It's a couple of months, right? Like we can do anything for a couple of months. So I would actually do that first. Then when you're like ready to be like, okay, I'm not going to just download this free resource and leave it in my inbox untouched forever because like guilty, we've all done that. There are so many amazing resources out there. I mean, I have a masterclass on cycle syncing for you who like video. I have a free PDF. Of course, the Power 45 method, which you went through, is basically me guiding you through how to incorporate these into your life. And it's 45 days. And the new format, which you'll experience, is 15 minutes or less per day. So it saves you that time. So if this is all like new to you, you're like, oh my God, I have no idea what's going on in my menstrual cycle, which is like, that's okay. Most women don't. Like, think about spending like a cycle or two really understanding it, because you're going to be able to take that with you for years to come. And those of you mamas out there, you're going to be able to teach your daughters this because they're not learning it in schools. Unfortunately, I didn't learn any of this in schools, including grad school. So we got to learn it somewhere. Yeah. So I think those are good starting points. And ultimately, everyone is a different kind of learner, right? Like some people are going to want to DIY it. Some of you are going to want the time saved and you're like, nope, I want somebody to just guide me through it and help them, create my plan for me. Some of you are going to want to be in a community like one of Nicole's communities where you can ask questions. So I know I personally have all those formats for that reason. I understand different learning styles. So figure out what works best for you and like get involved in it that way.
And, the one thing I do that I don't think we talk about enough is because every one of us thinks we are amazing communicators, right? We don't realize that throughout our cycles and just throughout life that our communication style changes, but also how we communicate during a month changes, right? So for me as a marketing professional, it really is all about communication. And so since I've dived into this method, it's actually really helped me. Now, granted, I don't ask my clients, when's your period? Because that's just kind of weird, right? But there are times when my clients are open, they're like, oh, I'm having like a really bad, part of my month. Totally understand it. We've all been there. But then I'm able to understand their communication changes, right? So I'm able to help them and support them when they need it most. And a lot of that comes through, like, as women, we sometimes have a really hard time with being able to say why we're feeling the way that we're feeling. And that just has to do with our hormones. So this to me has been very educational, not only for myself. Now, do I use it as much as I should? No, but I'm going to get there, right? It's one step at a time, but it's been really helpful for not only myself, but clients as well, which I think is just imperative. This is a learning ability and learning skill. And like you said, Dr. Laura, I think it's really cool to be able to know this so you can pass it down. And then, when your daughters are teenagers and their hormones are going crazy, you're going to know why and hopefully be able to kind of approach that, appropriately, which is pretty cool. I guess I have one more question for you too, Dr. Laura, on this.
Sure.
Is what's the best part like of this process, right? Learning this and how it can help like the creativity and marketing of growing someone's business.
Yeah. So I'm sure a lot of you listening, like me, have been inundated with information about like supplements and do this and try this method and do time blocking and try microdosing and don't do alcohol or do alcohol, like 1,000 different things, right? But again, what if to cut down on the overwhelm of all of this information out there, whether it is health advice or whether it's advice from a business coach, a life coach, someone telling you creative ways to show up online, if you start viewing it again through your hormones, all of the sudden it becomes much easier to make those choices. Like I know video is still kind of a roadblock for a lot of people. Like we all know the importance of it, but some of us are like, oh my God, I cannot show up for this. Well, start by filming some when you feel really good. So ladies, this is like first phase of your cycle leading into ovulation at the halfway point. Like you naturally are a magnet for people. Start filming content then to get comfortable. Like don't wait to do it till a couple days before your period. Like some of us don't even want to be touched when that time is coming around, let
Yeah.
alone like get on a video and smiling and dancing around. So like
Yeah.
it starts to cut down on the overwhelm of when do I schedule this? When do I do this? And then also understanding all of your hormones here, all the things we talk about. Like I was on TikTok the other day and like everyone's talking about dopamine right now, right? Like get your dopamine hit to feel good, for reward, for motivation. Again, dopamine is a master neuroregulator for men. For women, it's actually something called oxytocin, which we think about as like the love hormone, right? But we make oxytocin all the time. It's tied very close to cortisol and estrogen. When we're super stressed and our cortisol is sky high, our estrogen and our oxytocin are on the struggle bus, particularly oxytocin. This makes it really difficult as women to emotionally regulate, to be creative, to tap into all of these ways that we want to interact with people, with collaborations, with potential clients. So we really have to just completely change the way we look at all of this and think about our physiology. And like really, I think a lot of that creativity, that magnetism that we crave, understanding when we're primed to do that with our biology is going to make it so much easier. And like there's nothing wrong with stepping away from some of that like brain heavy work, some of the creativity, the networking that week leading up to your cycle. Like that's really time to just like you do you, like take care of you, take care of your relationships, like